The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is Thursday morning. Wow, that was a tough start. It is Thursday morning. We are live right here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out, having a good old time. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world of sports. Baseball. I saw NBA preseason games yesterday. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. If you know anything about me, you know that I love the month of October. I call it the happiest time of the year because we get college football. We get the NFL. We get hockey back. We get the NBA back. Major League Baseball. We are just injecting it into our veins. All the sports possible. That's why October to me is the most wonderful time of the year. I got my dude Tommy Cananza tuning in saying, "What's up, Tip? What's up, Tommy? Hope that you're having yourself a fantastic day today." That's exactly where I was going to start, Strilla. That is exactly where I was going to start. B. Strilla saying, "Good morning, Mr. Tipton. The Tigers blow like booty." If you haven't been paying attention to Major League Baseball, let's take the next couple of minutes to really grasp and comprehend what's been going on in Major League Baseball right now. I've been a pseudo Red Sox fan, watching them beat up on Toronto, giving the Yankees a shot, an opportunity to win the division. It also kind of sets up for the possibility of an ALCS with the Yankees and the Red Sox, and you all know I am here for it. Anytime we get Yankees, Red Sox in the playoffs, I am here for it. The Miami Marlins, as of yesterday, had a shot. I got to look back and see, if they still got something going on their way. The Miami Marlins, of all teams, having a shot just because of how bad the New York Mets have been. The New York Mets are terrible. And speaking of terrible, the Cleveland Guardians were 15 and a half games back in July. And I kept saying it seems like an insurmountable lead. Like barring some sort of massive disaster, it seems like an insurmountable lead. And then like mid-August came and there were 14 and a half games back of the Detroit Tigers, who with Tarek Skubal, they were looking absolutely unstoppable. And you think to yourself, a month, you have 14 games back, it's probably not going to happen for you. Then September 1st happens and you're 10 and a half games back and you're like, man, they're going to make a run, but they're just not going to be able to overcome the Detroit Tigers, who a lot of us were like, man, Detroit's really effing good, really damn good. And last night, the Cleveland Guardians wind up taking the AL Central lead. 175 days this season, 175 calendar days this season, the Detroit Tigers were number one in their division. 24 days ago, they had a 10-game lead in their division, 10.5 game lead in their division. And as of right now, the Cleveland Guardians have surpassed the Detroit Tigers. You talk about an epic collapse. Like it almost, rivals what the Mets did a few years back, what the Mets are currently doing right now. Like, if not for Detroit, people would be talking about how the Mets are doing everything they possibly can to lose the division, to lose their wild card standing, just all of that stuff. The Detroit Tigers have lost their last 8 games, and they're 1-9 in their last 10 games, trying to come down to the end of the season to possibly make it into the playoffs. Right? Like right now, the Cleveland Guardians are the number 1 team in the AL Central, and it's just mind-blowing to me. And then you look like in the AL East, right, where I was mentioning it. You have 3 games of separation between the Toronto Blue Jays, who are leading the division right now by percentage points over the New York Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox. That's another one. If it wasn't for the fact that Houston is sucking ass right now, the Tigers would be out of the playoffs. Think about that. You had a division lead for 175 days. 175 days. That's just insanity to think about. And what? 4 games left in the season? There's a possibility that like you wouldn't have been in the playoffs if not for the Houston Astros just being bad. And like you're a fringe playoff team. Like both these teams are fringe playoff teams. Say what you will about baseball and like all that stuff. There's a lot of parity this season. In the AL, you got what? Let's see, 90 wins, and then the worst team that's in the playoff race right now has 86 wins or 84 wins. You have 6 games that separate all the teams that are eligible for making it into the playoffs. Like that's great parity. Like that's great for baseball. Like obviously now you know one of these teams is going to be the odd man out, right? Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, because the Yankees and Blue Jays would be in. The Yankees and Blue Jays have sealed their playoff spot. So the spots that are sealed, let me go over to this page real quick. The spots that are sealed in the standings are the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Seattle Mariners. Those 3 spots in the AL are done. Those teams are in the playoffs. The playoffs start today. Those 3 teams are in. Then you have 3 out of the next 4 teams with a possibility of getting in. The Boston Red Sox, the Cleveland Guardians, the Detroit Tigers, and the Houston Astros. As of right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, the Astros would be the last team out or the first team out. The Yankees would be the number 1 wild card. The Boston Red Sox would be the 2nd wild card. And the Detroit Tigers would be the 3rd wild card. A 1-game lead over the Houston Astros. Cleveland's not in the clear. Maybe Detroit can get something going for them. Turn it around a little bit. Houston's still dangerous. Let's see who the Houston Astros are playing to end their season. There we go. Wow, you click on schedule, it gives you the entire schedule. The Houston Astros' next 4 games are against the Sacramento Athletics and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I love that. That's gimmick infringement, brother. Sometimes I hate that I love some of my Detroit teams. No, I'm with you on that one. It seemed insurmountable. The way Detroit was playing. If I'm not mistaken, they were the first team to 70 wins. And they just seemed like it was a collision course, right? Like this was supposed to be written in the stars how good this team is. Now they have a 1-game lead over the Houston Astros, who are playing against a couple of cupcakes in the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Sacramento Athletics. I keep wanting to call them the Oakland Athletics. They're just the Athletics. They don't even have Sacramento in their name anymore. Both of them bottom-dwelling teams. Both of them not good. Then the Detroit Tigers are ending the season against 2 teams that have something to play for. They have 1 more game against the Guardians. They win that game. They get tied in the division. You know, it could help them out. But they have 1 more against Cleveland and then 1 more against or a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox in Boston. Detroit ending the season on the road. And when you look at what they've done in the month of September, they lost twice to the Mets. They lost twice to Chicago. They won a series against the Yankees. That's the only series they've won so far this month. They lost a series to Miami. They got swept by Cleveland. They got swept by Atlanta. They're about to be, maybe, swept by Cleveland again. And then going into Boston. It is not looking good. Not looking good at all for the Detroit Tigers. That epic collapse that we are watching right now, where at the beginning of September, a 10.5 game lead in your division. And there's a real possibility. Because if you look at the schedule right now, you know Boston's got something to play for. You know that Cleveland has something to play for. The teams that the Houston Astros are playing with, the Athletics and the Angels, they've got nothing to play for. So Houston gets a couple of wins there. Detroit gets a couple of losses. You could have an 85-win team that was dominant for 175 days of the season, calendar days of the season, miss the playoffs. Beast Real saying that he hopes they lose every freaking game for the rest of they got 4 more games. He hopes they lose every single one of those games for the rest of the season. And I am here for that chaos. It's not me drinking your tears. It's just you don't see that. And I guess like in basketball, you don't see collapses unless it's in the playoffs, right? Like the Golden State Warriors losing the 73-9 season that they had in the NBA Finals. You can call that a collapse, but that at least they made the playoffs. baseball season is so long and so arduous that whenever you get a long lead in your division, it almost feels insurmountable. Again, we were going back to July. I'll say it. I was going back to July, crowning the Detroit Tigers is like that team's going to be impossible to catch up with. They're so good. They're hot. They're doing everything that they need to do. They're so hot right now. They were doing everything that they needed to do. Tommy Canazza saying, stop pushing Strilla off a ledge, Mike. I'm not. I'm not. I just find it so fascinating. So fascinating. Beast Real saying he's already off the cliff. He's just free falling right now. Because I'm free falling. And like that's how it feels, right? Because I know what this is like. I'm a Yankees fan. I've seen the Yankees have leads in the division and then lose that lead. I've been there. I've been in this position. I just find it so fascinating. The same thing with like the New York Mets, right? Like the Mets have a possibility. There's a small possibility that the Miami Marlins, who are sitting right now at 77 and 81, they're only 4 games back. But if they tie, if the Mets, the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Marlins tie at 81 and 81, the Miami Marlins have the tiebreaker and can make it in. And again, like the New York Mets were another team that we were all looking at like, oh, okay, they're safe. Like they might not win the division because we saw how hot Philadelphia got, but they're safe. They should be okay. Beast Real saying, I'll let the Lions cushion my plummet. You got that, right? Like you got that. And Detroit, the Pistons are looking really good this year too. Like you got that. You've got hope with the other teams. It's just I know that sports fans are just as selfish as I am because at the end of the day, I'm a sports fan, right? I wish that I had all 3 of my teams that were good, right? Like they've all been good at specific points in time, but they've never been good together, right? Like all 3 of them have never been good together. And I want that to happen. I need that to happen one day. The Yankees are good. The Spurs are on the come up. The Dallas Cowboys are an absolute dumpster fire. As far as football goes, at least I've got Texas Tech. Thank you, Texas Tech. Giving me some sort of hope. But then again, I also remember Texas Tech with the number 1 ranking in the country for a week, going into Oklahoma and getting absolutely destroyed. Tommy, I know you're happy about that. Boomer Sooner. Absolutely destroyed. But my team, Texas Tech, where there are no expectations at all, was number 1 for 1 week. 1 week. I can say in my life, they were number 1 for 1 week. Just like UTEP fans can be like, look, we cracked the top 25 in 2000. Texas Tech was number 1 in 2007 for 1 week. And then they got rocked by Oklahoma. God, that's still a nightmare of a game for me. I was at the comic strip here in El Paso watching Michael Crabtree catch that pass from Graham Harrell, tiptoe the sidelines, and beat Texas. And I celebrated at the comic strip with Christopher Chris Reed from Kid and Play buying me red stripes and all other kinds of stuff because I was the only Texas Tech fan in that entire area. You talk about like a cool moment in my life. Like this is before I started doing all of this stuff, right? This is way back in the Wayback Machine where I'm drinking red stripes with Kid from Kid and Play. That right there, like if you grew up in a specific generation, you got to have an appreciation for that. Also, Red Stripe, not a good beer, but I wasn't going to turn it down because my dude was drinking Red Stripe. He was high as all hell. Definitely doesn't remember any of it. But it was a great moment for your boy. And I love this audience because I know the majority of this audience is going to know who I'm talking about whenever I talk about Kid from Kid and Play. We ain't going to hurt nobody. We're just dancing, y'all. I got to watch House Party again. That's a great movie. In the NL, in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies have run away with that division. Like they have run away with the NL East. They are looking absolutely dominant right now. They're a good team. Like don't let the 5-5 in the last 10 games fool you. Nobody wants to play the Philadelphia Phillies. They have clinched the NL East. In the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers, they have clinched the NL Central. No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not dragging Red Stripe. I am not dragging Red Stripe. I'm just saying it. I remember. Damn, this is going to show how old I am again, right? Like watching whenever like PTI, pardon the interruption, and like Around the Horn first started, like in the very early 2000s. I remember watching them and being like, this show is presented by Red Stripe. And then like whatever the Red Stripe was, like it was an awesome commercial. And I remember thinking to myself, like, one of these days I'm going to, like, I got to drink a Red Stripe. But I just never did because I'm a creature of habit. And like I'll do, especially back then, it was a lot of Ziegenbach. Wow. A lot of Ziegenbach, a lot of Shinerbach. Like that was my stuff. And then like I'm going over, and like I said, a celebrity is buying you drinks, you don't turn it down. You drink whatever they give you. And like I had this expectation of like, man, they sponsor shows on ESPN. This has to be a really good beer. And it just objectively wasn't. At least for me, it wasn't a good beer. But my dude loved it, and that's all that matters. It's kind of like Stella Artois. I tried Stella Artois, and it's just not good. It's not a good beer at all. And like I had it so hyped up because the commercials make it seem like it's like it's something regal, right? Like it's all kinds of like fancy because it comes in the glass, and they had the thing like they shave the head, they circumcise basically the cup. Totally forgot that it wasn't 8:30 yet. I apologize, Tommy. They were taking a little off the top, right, with Stella. And I used to think to myself, man, that's so fancy. Again, I grew up ghetto as all hell. So I'm looking at Stella Artois like, oh my God, one of these days I'm going to be able to drink a Stella Artois. And I did. And it was effing gross. I remember like being heartbroken, like drinking it slowly because you didn't want it to be bad. You wanted it to be good. And like thinking to myself, maybe it's me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Like I'm not refined enough. I don't have the palate. I'm not fancy enough. I'll never be fancy enough to enjoy this beer. And it was bad. Like just bad. I'm sure someone out there, like I guarantee Augustine loves Stella Artois. He doesn't drink, but I guarantee he would love Stella Artois. Beastrill saying, you ain't old. I remember watching This Week in Basketball, TWIB parenthetically. I don't remember watching This Week in Basketball. I'm going to have to look that up. Well, hold on. Is that the one with Ahmad Rashad? Oh, baseball. Baseball. This Week in Baseball television series. Okay, here we go. There's a podcast. This Week in Baseball. It stopped in 1990. It went all the way from 1977 to 1998. Wow. And then it was again on Fox in 2000 to 2011. Tommy saying maybe Stella wants to be a sponsor, Mike. Stop trashing possible sponsorships. Y'all know me, right? Like, I know I do seem like I am just a whore for any type of sponsorship, like crushed peanuts. Crush your day with crushed peanuts. 9 grams of protein, guys. Check it out at all the local Valero and Chevron stations here in El Paso. I am also like if it's going to be a sponsor of the show, I have to enjoy it, right? Like I'm not just gonna take whatever, unless it's like a multi-million-dollar deal, in which case Stella will taste amazing. But if it's just a regular ass sponsorship, I've got to enjoy it, right? I wasn't a big fan of Cuervo until I got the Repasado. Then I tried that one. I was like, you know what? That's good. That's all right. Cuervo put me on the tequila train. I had a good old fun time. But my number one tequila is always going to be Don 70, like Don Julio 70, right? Like that's always going to be my number one tequila. Love me some Cuervo now, especially the Repasado. But I mean, man, if Stella drops a stack, or Red Stripe drops a stack, then I'll be like, this is a great beer. I actually kind of did that with this is going to be a little inside the weeds for some people. Tommy, you might be the only one that gets this because you've been a supporter for a long time, and you know I got nothing but love for you, my dude. I appreciate you sticking with this show and all the different renditions that it's been. But whenever we were on Fox Sports 1380 here in El Paso, Troy Aikman released the Elite 8 Light Lager. And there is, I got to find the clip. I'll share the clip where I drink the beer. And it wasn't great. Like it just wasn't great. You could tell on my face that I was disappointed. Because I have that, like my face tells exactly the way that I feel. If I feel like ass, you're going to see in my face. I can try to hide it, but my face shows everything. I wish I didn't have this face, expressive of a face. So I drink the Elite 8 Light Lager, and I'm on air. And I'm on air. And I drink it, and I'm trying to convince myself. And you can see me doing this, where I'm like, this is Troy Aikman's beer. Troy Aikman, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman, the quarterback of my childhood. I have to like this beer. I bought so much of it that I wound up liking that beer. Like I forced myself to like that beer. And it's actually pretty, whenever it's really cold, it is amazing. Whenever it's warm, not so much. But there was so many commercials for a while for the Elite 8 Light Lager. Tommy Cananza remembering the Elite 8 days. B, to let you know how this went, and Augustine, to let you know how this went, I have a Christmas tree. Well, like just a spare Christmas tree that I decorated with everything that I got from Elite 8 Light Lager. It was amazing. Great people gave me a couple of glasses, things like that. Like the sponsorship that I got with them was amazing. Elite 8, learn to like it. That'll be the catch line. Maybe we can get them on again. I'll send them some stuff. Maybe we can get Elite 8 to sponsor the show once again. Augustine saying, why do Hispanics drink tepid beer? They hate ice. Oh. Dun. I was about to be like, who puts ice in their beer? Like it's not like, who would do that? What kind of monster does it? You just frost your glass. I got a couple of glasses in the freezer right now. They've been in there for a couple of weeks. They're nice and cold. Augustine saying that was funnier when you got it. LMAO. It was. It really was. I didn't have the Augustine delivery of it, but it was much funnier after I understood what the joke was. It's like I read it and I realized at that moment that it was just the tip of the joke.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Guys, it's the end of summer. It's still hotter than Satan's asshole here in El Paso, but it's the end of summer, and you're going to be wearing more clothes, more thermals. B's going to be bundled up like he was in A Christmas Story, just not able to move his arms because of how cold it gets up in Detroit. And B's going to be comfortable because he goes to www.myhappynuts.com. He gets the comfort cream and just slathers it on his boys, layer after layer after layer, to make sure that they're not sticking to his legs. They're not sticking to anywhere. B's got no swamp ass. And you should be like B and me and make sure your nuts are just as happy as our nuts. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all your male grooming needs. B Shrill saying, wasn't that a regurgitated joke? I think I told that before. I've heard it somewhere. I've heard it somewhere, and that has to be it. Augustine saying, be like B. 100% be like B. Get the Nuts About You bundle, where you get the comfort cream, the anti-chafe stick, the comfort powder spray. You're taking care of your boys because your boys take care of you. Don't be gross. www.myhappynuts.com. Promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Thursday night football is upon us. The 2-1 Seattle Seahawks taking on the 2-1 Arizona Cardinals. Bistril saying that his lady friend likes it. Ooh, it's a lady. That was my my very limited impersonation of the ladies' man Tim Meadows. Ooh, it's a lady. So how long have you been nunning it up? I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen The Ladies' Man, you are not a ladies' man. End of discussion. You can't blame the Wang. I'm going to get canceled one of these days for all my impersonations. I'm here for it. I deserve it. 100%. The Seattle Seahawks, a 1.5-point favorite on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. I know B and a couple of other people think that the Arizona Cardinals have themselves a shot, that they're a halfway decent team. ESPN Bet has the Arizona Cardinals a 52% favorite in this game. But I will lay this upon you. Drop this at your feet. In his career versus NFC West opponents, Kyler Murray is 8-21. 8-21. That is not a winning recipe for anybody in your division. To only have 8 wins out of 29 tries is insanity. And that means that in the NFC West, these teams know how to play against Kyler Murray. They know what to expect out of Kyler Murray. And it's impossible for me to look at this game and sit here and think to myself, because again, and maybe it's just history always shows you who the Arizona Cardinals are. I just don't see the Arizona Cardinals as one of the best teams in the division. With all the injuries to San Francisco now, with Brock Purdy out, I get it. Mac Jones has gone in and played a hell of a last couple of games. But now you're going to be missing Nick Bosa for an extended period of time. You know Christian McCaffrey is going to get injured at some point in time. It just happens, right? The 49ers, for whatever reason, are a snake bit franchise when it comes to injuries. B Strill saying, I got faith. Go Cards. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. I'm glad you got faith. But we saw that, like, how long does a player have to be in the NFL before we start calling them a bust? Because I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is tight walking that line. I get it, it's early, but he drops a ton of passes. Like, I don't think I've seen a dude. I don't think I've seen people like that drop as many passes as I've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. drop throughout his career. Augustine saying, all I heard was that song. Well, you got to have faith, the faith, the faith. I got to have faith, the faith, the faith. I think of the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of that song that I remember they used to play on KLAQ here in El Paso a long time ago. Well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. The very few times I break out the Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. Bistro saying, okay, George Michael, calm down. That one in Limp Bizkit. CeeDee Lamb dropped the season. Marvin Harrison will be good. I have faith. Like, again, I'm still on the Kyle Pitts bandwagon, right? Where, like, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be good. Okay, so Harrison is a bust after 1 year, but Winston isn't after 30 years. Because in those 30 years, Jameis Winston gave us a 5,000-yard, 30-touchdown, 30-interception season. Marvin Harrison Jr. would have to play 30 years to get 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and 30. Though he'll probably have the 30 drops in no time. I'm glad you guys are always there to check me because there you go. It's way too early for me to be calling Marvin Harrison Jr. a bust because it's only been a year and 3 games. But he's not looking good. Like, he's not living up to the hype. And maybe that's because maybe it's got a lot to do with Kyler Murray, right? Like, I don't look at Kyler Murray as a quarterback that's going to win you a championship. Like, I just don't. And Strilla putting me on the right path saying, give Marvin Harrison 3 years. I'll give him his 3 years. And you know right now, like, you know in your heart of hearts, if the New York Giants started Jameis Winston for the rest of the season, they might not win games, but they would be fun. They would be fun to watch. Fun to watch. Winston needs a seat warmer endorsement with all the time his ass spends on a bench. Damn. Tommy just doesn't like Jameis Winston. And the name Tip, it has a lot of pull. Am I missing another comment somewhere? Because that's not making sense to me, Augustine. I'm sorry. Or, like, you're talking about, like, pulling the tip? Like, I don't. I feel like we're in a completely different conversation right now. All kinds of different I've got moderators for a reason. Not supposed to see those comments. You guys know that I'm Ron Burgundy. Bistro saying, Tommy, tell us how you really feel, my man. Tell us how you really feel. It's referring to Marvin Harrison, not the tip. LOL. Okay. Seattle, a 1.5-point favorite on the road, which means if this is played at a neutral site, the Seattle Seahawks would be a 4.5-point favorite over the Arizona Cardinals. There's a part of me that likes Seattle, that likes what they're doing, right? JSN, they've got a good running game with Kenny Walker III and with Charbonnet and all them. My biggest question, and maybe it shouldn't be because we saw him do halfway decent last year. My biggest question is with Sam Darnold. It all comes down to Sam Darnold. Tommy Canazza saying, I think we can all agree Augustine is drunk today. He's on something. Maybe he's playing like 4D chess or something. I don't know. JSN is balling. Yeah, he is. And that's a great cheat code. But any quarterback, right? Whenever you have that kind of receiver, Sam Darnold going from Justin Jefferson to Jackson Smith-Njigba is awesome, right? Like you know you've got some talent there that you can throw the ball to. Again, like I want to have faith in the Arizona Cardinals. I really do. But looking at that record, 8-21 against the NFC West, that's damning, dude. Like if it was 11-10 or something like that, like it'd be a little different. 8-21 versus the NFC West. You're bad in your division. Like that's a horrible divisional stat. And like you look at how often you play your division teams. If you can't win in your division, you're not going to make it to the playoffs. And I don't have faith in the Arizona Cardinals as a whole. And like I want to like Kyler Murray, but I just don't think that he's the guy, right? Like I don't think you can build your franchise around Kyler Murray. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all see something different than what I see. But I just don't see Kyler Murray as the guy that you can build your franchise around. And remember, you're talking to the guy that's got a ton of faith in Dak Prescott. I got a ton of faith in Justin Fields. I got a ton of faith in like Caleb Williams right now. And I'm still having a hard time putting all of it behind Kyler Murray. And like I don't know what it is there. Like I just don't like the way that he plays quarterback. And I get it. There were a lot of drops in the last couple of games. They had an opportunity to beat the 49ers, and they just didn't. Kyler Murray is 2-8 against Seattle. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I get it. Maybe you're one of these people, whenever you go gambling, you're always like, look, they might be due for a win right now or whatever. I don't gamble that way. So maybe I'm a little different. I think history is going to repeat itself. Like, it's so hard for me to look at this and be like, look how bad his record is in the NFC West compared to the teams that he's playing in the NFC West. Like he's playing against Seattle. He's 2-8 against Seattle. History is more than likely going to show us that he's going to be 2-9 at the end of today. And it's great. Like I think it's going to be a fun game. I really do. But I'm not sold on the Arizona Cardinals. I've got to see more. I'm looking at like stats right now for the Arizona Cardinals. Through 3 games, Kyler Murray has 542 yards. Let's do some math real quick, because I don't think that's great. That's averaging 180 yards passing a game. So I guess he's completing 67% of his passes, so he's doing all right. He's got 4 TDs, 1 interception. This is the thing that always gets me with Kyler Murray, and I get it. He's running around a lot. Mobile quarterbacks tend to get sacked a little more, but he's been sacked 7 times in 6 games. So 2 1/3 time every single game that he's getting sacked. A 93.9 quarterback ranking, so that's good. Kyler Murray has ran for 107 yards. He's second on the team in rush yards, only behind Trey Benson, who's now going to get all the carries, the majority of the carries, because of the injury to James Conner. And that right there, again, that's another wrench thrown at the Arizona Cardinals. You lost James Conner for the rest of the season. Well, like he's done. I'm like, is there a chance that he's coming back? I gotta look. I'm looking right now. I'm fairly positive I saw something that he's done. Yeah, he's gonna have to have surgery. No, he ain't coming back. So you lost that aspect of it. the amount of emails I'm getting. Of course, you got McBride, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. If like they can get on the if Marvin Harrison Jr. can start living up to the hype, then maybe, just maybe, I've got some faith in the Arizona Cardinals. But as of right now, I don't. I don't. And that's weird that I've got more faith in Sam Darnold than I do in the Arizona Cardinals. It's weird to me that that's where I'm at right now. Sam Darnold averaging 220 yards a game, got 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, been sacked 3 times, a quarterback rating of 104.7, which is insane that he's gonna that Sam Darnold has that high of a quarterback rating. Bistro saying their defense is much better. I know. Arizona to me has a top rated defense, but you also got to look at like who they've played, right? Like they played Carolina. Carolina's not an explosive team. They played the 49ers without Brock Purdy. They're not an explosive team. Who'd they open the season with? I'm trying to remember who Arizona opened the season with. Let me go over to them real quick. And then they played the Saints, right? So, like, none of these teams, Carolina, New Orleans, San Francisco, none of them have the offensive weapons that Seattle has right now. And again, that's not taking anything away from the Arizona Cardinals. It's just, it's real easy to make your defense look good when those are the offenses you're going up against. You know what I mean? And maybe that is taking a shot at Arizona and what they've got going on right now. But like the Saints aren't a good team. We all know that. The Panthers getting 30 points against the Falcons, who apparently won that game somehow. God, fans are so funny to me. It's awesome. Or didn't lose that game. They beat themselves. The Falcons beat themselves in a game that they lost by 30. Whatever. Fans are great. I love fans. But the Panthers aren't a juggernaut offense, right? Like maybe they will be in the future, but they're not at this moment. And in San Francisco, with all the injuries they've had, not a juggernaut. So it's easy to get fat on teams like that. Now you're going up against a team that we can say, out of the 4 teams that they would have played at the beginning of the season, the Seattle Seahawks have the best offense, just hands down. Then the Cardinals get the Titans again, or get the Titans. That's probably going to be a win. The Titans have so many problems. Then they get the Colts, the Packers, the Cowboys. How is that a primetime game? How is Arizona and Dallas a Monday night football game? I am all about, you know what, the way this season's going, I am all about just taking the Dallas Cowboys off of any primetime games. They do not deserve it. They just flatly, they don't. They're not a good team. They're not going to be a good team. I want them to finish the season 2-15. Get me the number 1 overall pick. We're not going to get Arch Manning. Not at all. We don't need Arch Manning. Bistrilla gets what I'm talking about. So Bistrilla and I are in a group chat where I'm just like, there's a Falcons fan in there, and he was letting us know, I guess it was Tuesday, it wasn't yesterday, but he was letting us know on Tuesday that the Carolina Panthers didn't win that game. The Atlanta Falcons beat themselves because they didn't run the ball. And I'm like, my guy, when you're down by 30, you don't run the ball. When you're down by multiple touchdowns, you don't run the ball. It's all about air raid. And I'm just like, my God. Augustine saying, can I be in this group chat? I'll create a group chat with me, you, Strilla, and Tommy. Strilla reminding us that it's a return of Micah Parsons. We'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. I don't want to talk about that team today. Unless you all force me to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, in which case it's y'all's doing, not mine. If y'all force me to talk about the Cowboys, I will. But I'm trying not to. Just trying not to. The Cardinals defense. Tommy's saying at this point, I don't want Manning. He doesn't look good. Augustine saying, oh, it's going to be a soccer chat. Nope. Kicking you out of the chat before we even started it. Tommy's saying at this point, I don't want Arch Manning. He doesn't look good. I think I put it out. If I didn't put it out, I'll look again. I saw a funny-ass meme that was talking about Arch Manning going on and having to get his slump buster with Sam Houston State. We've all been there. We've all been there. Do what you got to do, Arch. Maybe he looks better in the upcoming weeks, but I'm with you, Tommy. I have not been impressed. I have not been impressed with this at all. And you know he's going to get drafted. He's going to be in the NFL. Third generation kind of guy. What was that? Kind of like Clay Matthews, right? Like a third generation kind of guy. Maybe, just maybe, it works out for him. We'll see. But I've got no faith in Arch. And like I said, tank, get a top 5 draft pick, and move on. And move on. The way you lost against the you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not getting sucked into this Dallas Cowboys conversation. It is not happening. The Seattle Seahawks have a 7-game winning streak against the Arizona Cardinals entering Thursday's game. So as we enter into today's game, the Seattle Seahawks have a 7-game win streak. Now, obviously, that was with Geno Smith. That was with Russell Wilson. That's not with, I guess all that was with Geno Smith. That was not with Sam Darnold. I've got faith in Sam Darnold. I'm looking at the head-to-head matchups right now. Jackson Smith and Najigba, I still think is going to be the biggest playmaker here. Like without a doubt, he's going to be the biggest playmaker here. Arizona's defense, Calais Campbell out there still doing it, which is awesome. I would have loved to have seen Calais Campbell with the Dallas Cowboys, but that's another conversation for another time. Looking at the injury report, got a couple of guys out, just mainly some piece players. Zach Charbonnet is questionable for today's game. If he's out, you've got to rely heavily on Kenneth Walker III. You got to rely on him. That's your big name back. So you got to do what you got to do with him. Not a lot of injuries on either side of the field. Augustine saying, speaking of injury reports, how is the knee? So yesterday I had to miss yesterday's show, and I will be missing next Wednesday's show because of the El Paso Locomotive having a day game, noon game on a Wednesday for the El Paso Locomotive. If you get a chance, go out there and support our local USL soccer team. But I had to start physical therapy on my surgically repaired knee because I'm trying to make sure I don't have to get another surgery on this knee. So we're going to start physical therapy with some of that stuff. I asked them, please, let's do this any day of the week, but like at 10 o'clock. No more 8:30 appointments. It also felt amazing being the youngest patient there by at least 30 years. Like everyone was looking at me like, oh my God, look at this young, strapping young man. It did smell like Ben Gay, though. It just an overwhelming waft of Ben Gay at 8:30 in the morning is not what I pick. Bistro saying that Cards pass defense is horrendous. I might have to change my pick. The more we're talking through this, right? The more we're talking through this. That's where I was about to go. I was previewing the teams, looking at their injury report. Now let's look at where everyone ranks defensively. But thank you, Augustine, for checking out the knee. Mike's trying to get that knee right to go play DE for the Cowboys. LOL. Hey, I just might. Let me out there and rush the passer. I can do it. You brought in Jadeveon Clowney. I can try to do it. The Cardinals defense currently ranked right now number 23 in the NFL, giving up 340 yards a game. The Cardinals pass defense. Almost as bad as the Dallas Cowboys pass defense. Give up an average of 264.3 yards a game. Their run defense, solid. The number 4 run defense in the NFL as of right now, only allowed 1 rushing touchdown. But that passing defense, and you know if you got Jackson Smith and Najigba out there, you're going to be airing out the ball. So we got that working. Let's see where the Seahawks rank. The Seahawks with the 20th ranked pass defense in the NFL, giving up 221 yards a game. The Seahawks with the number 7 run defense in the NFL, giving up only 90 yards a game and have yet to give up a single rushing touchdown on the season. The Cowboys, you know that they went out there and said, we got to fix our defense. The Cowboys have given up 4 rushing defense touchdowns. Through 3 weeks, the Seattle Seahawks defense has only allowed 4 total touchdowns. Think about that. 4 total touchdowns. Held the 49ers to 13 points. We're not going to talk about the 49ers. Or held the 49ers to 17 points. Last second win for the 49ers. Brock Purdy was there. George Kittle was injured. How much of that plays in it? Held the Steelers to 17 points. Held the Saints, again, the Saints, not a good team, to 13 points. So, I mean, I trust Seattle's defense a little more, I guess, than I trust the Cardinals' defense, especially with the fact that the Cardinals are going to be a little more hindered without having James Conner there. Tommy Canazza saying at least the Cardinals' pass defense is better than Dallas. Dallas, Baltimore, and Arizona. Those are the bottom 3, the bottom feeders of the NFL as far as pass defense goes. At least Jerry fixed the run defense, like you said. Problem is he broke the amazing pass rush we had. How dare you? How dare you want a balanced defense that can rush the passer and stop the run? It's either one or the other, my guy. And now that they got Kenny Clark in there, they don't even stop the run anymore. Jerry needs to send some of those picks over to Cleveland and trade for Garrett. I was going to this is how frustrated I've been with the Dallas Cowboys. I was going to buy Madden, and I was going to do the moves that the Cowboys did with the draft picks and all that stuff. And I was going to package those draft picks and send them over to Cleveland to see if they would accept that trade for Myles Garrett. I get it, it's a video game, but at least it would make me happy. Just make me personally happy to see that there's a universe out there where the Dallas Cowboys are not just absolute dumpster juice. Tommy Canazza saying, I know, right? How dare I want a complete defense? That's asking too much. Next thing you know, you're going to say you want a balanced offense, right? God. You want a good team? Who? Get out of here with that nonsense. Nobody wants to see a good team. All right, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's show. I'm going to be sharing a link a little bit later on. I'm going to be teaming up with my guy Chris Babcock on KTSM 9 Plus. We are going to be broadcasting from the Sun Bowl, the Battle of the West Side, Coronado High School taking on Franklin High School. I'll be sharing out that link a little bit later on today so that y'all can support your boy as I'm going to be doing the color analyst position in that game later on today. Once again, y'all, thank you so much for the love and support. We will see you tomorrow. It's a TIP VIP Friday. We finally made it to the end of the week. We finally made it to week 4, a quarter of the way through the NFL season. We'll see you all later. Have a good day, everybody.